Hello, I want to share with you something on intelligence and sadhana. This is some verses from the Bhagavad Gita and some discussion from Swami Rama on those verses. O Prince of the Kurus, referring to Arjuna, this is Krishna speaking, there is only one determinative wisdom, and the intellects of those who do not have such decisive wisdom are unending, with many branches. Swami Rama comments, merely knowing what to do without one-pointedness of mind will not lead one to perform his duty accurately. Therefore, the desired results will not be attained. Just as profound knowledge of what to do is essential, so having a one-pointed mind is equally essential. The modern student tends to know intellectually, but does not make sincere efforts to develop one-pointedness of mind. Thus, his mind remains scattered, and all his actions result in disappointment. For lack of a one-pointed mind, the modern student jumps from one path to another because he does not understand that it is his scattered mind that is creating barriers for him. He thinks the barriers are outside. Assuming that another path or goal will be better is trickery played by the mind. One already knows what is right, but he does not know how to put it into practice. In childhood, the fundamentals of all great truths are taught to us. Then we spend energy in trying to apply those truths, but we fail. We do not realize that with systematic practice we can succeed. The key point of practice as well as of success lies in one-pointedness of mind. Attention is the first step on the ladder to develop one-pointedness of mind. One must pay wholehearted attention to all of the things he does from morning until evening. The aspirant should also understand why he is acting in a particular way. Actions should not be performed as a reaction without understanding why one does them. The human mind is prone to be reactionary if it is not trained, and an untrained mind creates disorder, disease, and confusion. If one does something with full attention, he will increase his awareness and ability to perform his duty. If one forms the habit of attending fully to whatever he is doing, the mind will become trained, and eventually concentration will become effortless. It is a great quality for one to be able to express his knowledge through his speech and action with a one-pointed mind. Thousands of thoughts remain waiting to be entertained. The purpose of sadhana is to attend to those thoughts in a systematic manner so that they do not create unrest in the inner world. Arjuna is instructed to make his mind one-pointed before performing his duty. Now comes the part that's on the intelligence and sadhana. This is the flowery speech that the unwise speak, absorbed in the discussion of the Vedas, saying there is nothing else, totally identified with their desire, intent upon heaven, uttering the speech that leads to the fruit of karma in the form of rebirth, ample in specific rituals resulting in pleasure and power. Since they are attached to pleasure and power, and their minds are plundered by that speech of theirs, their determinative wisdom does not succeed in leading to samadhi. Swami Rama comments, theologians, scholars, and priests theorize and write commentaries on scriptures such as the Vedas. Yet, however profound their theoretical knowledge may be, they cannot assimilate that knowledge and live according to it without sadhana. Intellectualization is easy, but sadhana is difficult. Many scholars make erudite speeches on the Vedic verses, but they themselves have not realized the full meaning of those verses. Therefore, Sri Krishna teaches Arjuna to practice and assimilate the knowledge. He urges him not to be foolish like those who talk on the Vedas but do not practice the teachings of the Vedas. Such scholars and priests are enveloped with self-interest. Their actions are directed toward mundane and temporal gains and the attainment of heavenly joys. As a result, they become caught in the snare of births and deaths. Many religious leaders have forgotten the profound meaning of the great scriptures and merely use them for their own convenience. Motivated to attain external pleasures, they involve the innocent in rituals. Much of the misery we find in society is because of unwise teachings spread by such religious leaders, teachers. It is an irony of human history that religious leaders often practice religion to achieve selfish ends. In fact, it has become a tradition that unfortunately misleads the vast majority of society. A rare few are aware of the fallacies and follies of such selfish leaders and thus prefer to isolate themselves and practice sadhana. But how many such people are there in the world? And how much good can they do with their teachings and writings when the vast majority of religionists preach and teach meaningless rituals that rob the intelligent of the wisdom of the great scriptures? The sages who have seen truth face to face and who were able to touch infinity have always warned sadhakas that real knowledge comes from earnest sadhana, which leads to direct experience, and not from mere study of the scriptures. While intellectual knowledge is often used for selfish ends, those sages knew that truth and selflessness are one. Selflessness is an acquired taste. When one finds delight in being selfless, he can lead, serve, and love others, and even change the course and destiny of nations. Selfishness feeds the ego, but selflessness leads one to higher levels of consciousness. So we all get to make choices. Who do we want to spend our time with? Who do we want to listen to? The intellectuals or the people who are doing and know about sadhana? And we each get to make a choice for ourselves. Do we want to live a life of being mere intellectuals, or do we want to be practitioners of yoga sadhana? The choice rests with each one of us. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.